Thank you, Senator Sharif Street, for that introduction and also in inviting me out to speak today in this event following this tragedy. As the president of West Philadelphia's largest business association, and I know my counterpart from Manayunk and other areas of the city, all agree that this has been the very worst year for small businesses across the city. In West Philadelphia, in our West Philadelphia district, we had 92% of our small businesses closed from anywhere from 3 to 11 months as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. A survey of 100 of our companies in West Philadelphia that was taken 3 months ago showed that the average small business still has about $8,000 in deferred past due expenses and unpaid bills that they still have not generated the profitability to meet those financial obligations. So with debt and issues like that, there's no more money in these communities and in these community-owned businesses to be able to remediate any flood-related or water-related damage that came from this storm. It really comes down to the state and government officials and providing the capital that's going to be necessary so that these companies can pay these expenses. Our commercial corridors also this year have suffered from 2 separate rounds of civil unrest that caused over $4 million in property damage and inventory losses. Last year, Tropical Storm Isaias ravaged businesses in the southwestern corner of our district in Southwest Philadelphia, turning one Eastwick school into a mini lake, flooding homes and destroying inventory. In just a few short, and now unfortunately here we are again talking about a new fresh crisis with Hurricane Ida. And unfortunately, in just a few hours of rain, all business in this city ground to a halt. Major city entranceways were underwater. Our businesses along Baltimore Avenue, like restaurants and mechanic shops and even flower shops, and as well as on Elmwood Avenue, were flooded, losing inventory and causing property damage. The Schuylkill River was overflown. Trains at 30th Street Station were delayed, grounded, and canceled. The beautiful Schuylkill River Boardwalk, one of our crown jewels, a tourist attraction and a quality of life amenity for residents, and was an $18 million investment by the city and state, was completely flooded and underwater. Millions of dollars in investments by residents, by businesses, and by government literally washed away on this Wednesday. The worst part of it all is that it didn't need to happen. Harrisburg is currently sitting on the $7 billion in our taxpayer dollars that have already been designated to help this city, its residents, and its businesses build back better. These dollars can be easily allocated to these small businesses that are struggling, the residents that have been affected, to ensure that they can be made whole. Right now, there are businesses in parts of the city that have absolutely no idea how they'll recover, and residents that are thinking the same thing. These dollars can be very easily allocated to help these folks rebuild and make whole. Equally as important, as Senator Saval mentioned a little bit earlier, some of these dollars can be made to make critical investments in our infrastructure. Right now, we know in Southwest Philadelphia and other areas of the city are consistent flood zones that every time it rains, we have issues like this. We can make sure that in the future that a few hours of rain will not do that to this city again. I call on the members of the state legislature, as well as my constituents in West Philly and the businesses that we represent, to free these dollars so that these businesses can be made whole and commerce can be restored to our neighborhoods. Thank you.